My name is Briella. I am 23 years old. I live in Indianapolis. I moved here 1 year ago. I came alone. I wanted a new start. I wanted to be happy, but life in the city was not easy. I had no friends here. I had no family here. I worked, I ate, I slept. That was all. The days were long. The nights felt cold. I felt like something was missing, but I did not know what. I found a job at a small car office. I helped a man who sold used cars. I cleaned the desk. I answered phone calls. I gave keys to people who came to see the cars. The man I worked for was kind, but quiet. He did not talk much. The work was not hard, but it was boring. Every day felt the same. I woke up, went to work, came home, and went to bed. I looked out the window and saw people walk by. I wondered if they were happy. I wondered if I would ever feel happy too. One day, something changed. A man walked into the office. He had a form in his hand. He said he wanted to sell his truck. I told him to wait. I looked at him. He was tall and had brown hair. His eyes were green. He wore a brown jacket and jeans. His hands looked strong. He smiled at me. "Your name is Briella?" he asked. I said yes. "Nice name," he said. I smiled, but I felt shy. He gave me the paper and said goodbye. He walked out and I thought I would never see him again. But the next day, he came back. He said he forgot to sign one page. I knew he did not forget. He just wanted to come back. I gave him the paper. He smiled again. "Do you like working here?" he asked. "It's okay," I said. He looked around the office. "It's small," he said. I laughed a little. "Yes, it is," I said. Then he asked, "Do you want to get coffee after work?" I was surprised. I said yes. After work, we walked to a coffee place. It was small and warm inside. We sat at a table by the window. We talked for a long time. He told me his name was Daniel. He fixed houses with his friend. He had 2 dogs. He liked music and long drives. He asked me many things. Where I came from. What I liked to eat. If I liked rain or sun. I told him I liked quiet days. I liked soft music. I liked to walk and think. He listened. He smiled. I felt happy. After that day, we met more. Daniel came to my office often. Sometimes he brought tea for me. He knew I did not like coffee. Sometimes he only came to say hello. We talked before work. We talked after work. He asked about my day. He asked what I ate. I started to smile more. My days were not so empty now. My heart felt light. We went for walks. We sat at the park. We laughed at silly things. One night we danced on the sidewalk. The street was quiet. The sky was dark. He held my hand. I looked at him. I felt safe. I felt seen. I thought maybe he liked me. I thought maybe I liked him too. But something changed again. Daniel started to act different. He did not text in the morning. He did not ask about my day. He said he was busy. He looked tired. He looked away when we talked. One time, he looked at his phone while I was speaking. I stopped talking. He did not notice. I felt small. One Saturday, he said he could not meet me. He said he had work. I stayed home. I made tea. I watched an old movie. That night, I opened his social page. I saw a photo. He was at a table. He was with a girl. She was smiling. She touched his arm. He smiled too. I stopped breathing for a moment. I stared at the photo. Then I closed my phone. I sat in silence. I did not cry. I just felt cold. The next day, Daniel came to the office. He smiled at me. He said hello. I said nothing. "Do you want to go for dinner?" he asked. I looked at him. "No," I said. He looked surprised. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I'm just tired," I said. He stood quiet for a second. Then he said goodbye and left. That night I got a message on my phone. The name was new. It said Eric. "Hi. I'm Daniel's brother," the message said. I waited before reading more. "I saw you today. You looked sad. I don't want to make things worse. I just wanted to ask if you are okay." I did not answer. The next day, another message came. "You don't have to say anything. I just hope your day is better today." This time I answered. I said, "I'm fine. Thank you." Eric replied, "Okay. If you ever want to talk, I'm here." We started to talk every day. He asked simple things. "How was work? Did you eat something nice today? Did you see the sun?" His words were soft. He never asked hard questions. He never asked about Daniel. He just talked to me and listened. I started to wait for his messages. One night he asked if I wanted to go for a walk. I said yes. I did not tell him I felt nervous. I wore a warm coat and walked to meet him. We met near a small park in downtown Indianapolis. He smiled when he saw me. He wore a blue sweater and old shoes. His hair was messy. His smile was real. Not big, not fake. Just simple and true. We walked slowly. We talked about books and music. He said he liked funny cartoons. I laughed. "You watch cartoons?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "They make me happy." I looked at him. He was not like Daniel. He was not trying to impress me. He was just being himself. After the walk, I went home and sat on my bed. I smiled. Not because of Daniel, but because of Eric. His words stayed in my mind. His smile stayed too. That night, I did not feel cold. I felt warm inside. I felt something soft, something new, and maybe something true. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. The next morning, I woke up before my alarm. The sun came through the window. The sky was clear and blue. I made toast and tea. I looked out the window. The street below was quiet. I thought about Eric. I thought about our walk. His voice stayed in my ears. I did not feel sad. I did not feel lost. I felt calm. I liked that feeling. At work, I cleaned the desk and picked up the papers. The office was cold, but I did not mind. I worked slowly. I was not thinking about Daniel. I did not look at my phone to see his name. I was thinking about Eric. I smiled once, and the man I worked for asked, "Good day?" I just said, "Yes." That evening, Eric sent a message. He asked if I wanted to go for a walk again. I said yes. We met at the same park. We sat on a bench. We talked about small things. He told me about his school. He worked with young children. He said they were loud but funny. I told him I did not like loud places. He said, "Me neither." I liked the way he listened. He did not speak too much. He waited for me to talk. He made me feel safe. We started to meet often. We walked in the evenings. We sat at coffee places. We talked about work and life. I told him about my old town. I told him about my mother. She lived far away. I missed her, but I was not ready to go back. He said he understood. He told me about his father. His father left when he was young. He said Daniel changed after that. I listened. I felt close to him. One Friday night, Eric and I sat on the grass in the park. The sky was dark. The stars were bright. He gave me a candy bar. "You like this, right?" he asked. I smiled. "Yes, it's my favorite." I looked at the sky and said, "I used to eat this when I was a child. It made me feel better." Eric looked at me. "Do you feel better now?" I looked at him. "Yes," I said. "I feel better when I'm with you." That weekend, I stayed at home. I cleaned the kitchen. I washed clothes. I made soup. I listened to music. My phone was quiet. No messages from Daniel. I did not care. I did not wait for him anymore. I looked at photos on my phone. I deleted the ones with Daniel. I did not want to see his face. I did not want to remember him. I felt free. Sunday evening, Eric came to my apartment. It was the first time. I felt shy. I cleaned the room twice. I changed my shirt 2 times. When he arrived, he brought a small bag of cookies. "I baked them," he said. I was surprised. "You bake?" I asked. He laughed. "Only cookies. Nothing else." We ate them with tea. They were warm and sweet. We watched a movie. A slow, quiet movie. There was a song in the movie that I liked. I closed my eyes and listened. I felt peaceful. Eric sat next to me. He did not move closer. He did not hold my hand. He just stayed there. It felt nice. When the movie ended, he stood up. "Thank you for the tea," he said. "And thank you for the cookies," I said. We looked at each other. "Can I see you tomorrow?" he asked. "Yes," I said. After he left, I sat on the couch and smiled. My small apartment in Indianapolis felt warm for the first time. The next day at work, something unexpected happened. Daniel came in. He wore a black jacket and sunglasses. He stood in front of the desk. "Hi," he said. I looked up. I was quiet. "Can we talk?" he asked. "Why?" I said. "I want to say sorry," he said. "For what?" I asked. "For not being honest," he said. "For hurting you." I said nothing. He looked at me. "I miss you," he said. I stood up and walked to the back room. I took a deep breath. I stayed there for a minute, then I came back. "I don't think I want to talk," I said. He looked surprised. "We had something," he said. "No," I said. "I thought we had something, but you were not real." He tried to speak, but I stopped him. "Please leave," I said. He looked at me for a moment, then walked out. My hands were shaking, but I felt strong. I sat down. I looked at the clock. I waited for the day to end. When I went home, I told Eric about it. I told him everything. He said, "I'm proud of you." I said, "I didn't cry." He said, "You don't have to cry to be strong." A few days later, we went to the big park in the city. It was a warm day. People were walking and eating ice cream. Eric and I sat near the water. He gave me a small paper bag. "What's this?" I asked. "Open it," he said. Inside was a photo. It was a drawing. A girl with brown hair was sitting on a bench. She was smiling. Next to her sat a boy with messy hair. He was holding a candy bar. The girl was me. The boy was Eric. "You drew this?" I asked. He smiled. "Yes, I draw sometimes, only for people I care about." I held the picture close. "Thank you," I said. "It's the best gift." We walked in silence. He held my hand. I let him. It felt right. I looked at him. "Can I ask something?" I said. "Of course," he said. "Why are you so kind to me?" He looked at me. "Because you are kind too. And because you see me. Most people don't, but you do." I stopped walking. "That's how I felt with Daniel?" I wanted him to see me, but he never did. Eric held my hand tighter. I see you, Briella. I always did. That night we sat on my couch again. No movie, no music, just silence. He looked at me. I don't want to rush anything, he said, but I like you. I like you a lot. I looked at him. I like you too. He smiled. Then let's just go slow. Let's be real. I nodded. Real is good. And that was the start of something new, something better. It was a cold morning in Indianapolis. I wore a big coat and a red scarf. I walked to the bus stop and waited. The sky was gray, and the wind was strong. I held my phone and looked at the screen. There was a message from Eric. It said, "Good morning. I hope you see something nice today." I smiled. That was something I liked about him. He never said too much, but his words felt warm. We still met almost every day. We talked, we walked, and sometimes we just sat in silence. We did not need big plans. We liked small things. We watched people in the park. We looked at the sky. We shared food. He once brought me hot chocolate in a paper cup. It was sweet and perfect. "This is the best one in the city," he said. I laughed. "You say that about everything," I told him. He smiled. "Only when I'm with you." One Sunday, I met his dogs. One was small and brown. The other was big and white. The small one was named Button. The big one was named River. They were friendly and funny. They ran around the yard and jumped on my shoes. I laughed so much. Eric watched me and said, "They like you. They don't like many people." I said, "Maybe they like people who eat cookies." I gave each dog a small snack. They wagged their tails. We sat in his yard with the dogs. The air was cold, but the sky was blue. I looked at him and said, "You are very different from your brother." Eric looked down and said, "Yes, we are not close anymore." I asked, "Were you close when you were kids?" He nodded. "We were, but he changed. He always wanted more. I wanted quiet. He wanted attention. I wanted peace." I looked at his face. He looked a little sad. I touched his hand. "I like your quiet," I said. He looked at me. "Me too," he said. At work, things stayed the same. The man I worked for said little. The phone rang, people came, people left. But inside, I felt new. I did not feel tired like before. I did not feel lost. I felt full. I thought about Eric during the day. I waited for his messages. I smiled more. I even walked slower, like I had more time. Maybe I did. One evening, we went to a small book sale in a school. The books were on tables. The room smelled like paper and dust. Eric picked up a book and said, "This one looks old." I looked at it. "The pages are yellow," I said. He opened it and read a line out loud. It was a poem. It was simple. I liked it. Books feel like people sometimes, I said. They stay quiet, but they still say something. He looked at me. You say smart things, he said. No, I said, laughing. I just feel too much. He said, That's why I like you. It snowed one night. I looked out my window and saw the street all white. I put on my coat and boots. I walked outside and stood under the streetlight. The snow was soft. It made no sound. I took a deep breath. I felt like the world stopped. Then my phone buzzed. It was Eric. Are you outside right now? I smiled. I wrote, Yes. The snow is too pretty to stay in. He said, I'm outside too. Let's meet. We met near the bus stop. The snow fell between us. I walked to him slowly. Hi, I said. Hi, he said. He looked at my face. Then he said, Can I kiss you now? I looked at him. I felt warm. Yes, I said. He stepped close. He kissed me, soft and slow. The snow fell on his hair. I closed my eyes. It felt like the whole city was quiet just for us. After that, we were together. It was not a big change. It just felt right. We still walked, talked, and shared snacks. But now, I held his hand all the time. He kissed my forehead when we said goodbye. He touched my cheek when I was cold. He told me I looked nice, even when I wore old clothes. I told him he looked tired, and he said, I think about you all day. That's why I can't sleep. We both laughed. One day, I got a letter from my old town. It was from my mother. She wanted me to come visit. She said she missed me. I felt sad. I had not seen her in a long time. I showed the letter to Eric. He said, You should go. I said, Will you miss me? He said, Too much. But I will wait. I hugged him. I held him close. I said, You're my best thing. I took the bus to my old town. It was far, and the ride was long. My mother hugged me and said I looked better. She said, Your eyes look happy. I told her about Eric. I told her he was kind. I told her he made cookies. She laughed. I want to meet this cookie man, she said. I smiled. I stayed 3 days. Then I came back to Indianapolis. Eric met me at the station. He gave me flowers. Not roses. Just small yellow flowers. I liked them more. I missed you, he said. I missed you too, I said. That night I gave him a photo. It was of me and my mother. He put it on the shelf in his room. He said, This feels like family. Weeks passed. We grew closer. He started teaching me how to draw. I was not good, but he said I was getting better. I helped him clean his yard. He helped me fix the light in my kitchen. I showed him how to make soup. He showed me how to slow down. One night we sat on the floor in my apartment. We looked at old photos on my phone. I stopped at one and said, "That was the day I met Daniel." Eric looked at me. I said, "I don't think about him anymore." Eric said, "Me neither." Then I looked at Eric. I said, "Do you know what I learned?" He said, "Tell me." I said, "Sometimes we chase the wrong person. We give them our heart, but they don't care. And the one who cares is just waiting for us to look, waiting for us to see them." Eric looked at me. I waited. He said. I smiled. "I see you now," I said. He leaned close. "You've always seen me," he said. And that was the truth. In a big city like Indianapolis, where people walk fast and talk loud, I found someone who stayed quiet, someone who listened, someone who gave love without asking for anything. Daniel did not love me, but his brother did. And this time, I was ready to love him back. My days were the same for many years. I woke up early. I made tea. I sat alone. Then I went to work. After work, I came home. I made dinner and watched TV. I did not have many friends. I did not talk to my family much. I felt safe in my small home, but I felt lonely too. My name is Emma. I was 32 when I met Noah. At that time, I thought I was ready for love. I was wrong. I met Noah at a small dinner party. My neighbor invited me. I did not want to go, but I went anyway. There were only 6 people. One man was quiet. He smiled at me when I sat down. He said his name was Noah. He was polite. His voice was calm. We talked about simple things. We talked about the weather, food, and music. I liked talking to him. 2 days later, he sent me a message. He asked if I wanted to meet for coffee. I said yes. We met at a small cafe. He asked many questions. He said, "I want to know more about you." I smiled. It felt nice. In the next few weeks, we met again and again. He came to my street. He waited for me outside work. He held my hand when we walked. He looked into my eyes when I spoke. He made me feel special. After 1 month, he said, "I want to be with you. I don't want anyone else." My heart felt warm. I said yes. I believed every word. In the beginning, Noah was kind. He called me every day. He asked if I ate. He brought small gifts. Once, he came with soup when I had a cold. Another time, he gave me a scarf when it was cold outside. He smiled often. He told me I looked nice even when I was tired. I told my friend, he is different. He is good. But after 4 months, something changed. He stopped calling first. He answered late. He said, "I am busy." Work is hard. I said, okay. I wanted to believe him. One weekend, we planned to watch a movie. I cooked dinner. I waited 2 hours. He did not come. I called him. No answer. I sent a message. He replied late at night. He said, I was tired. I slept. No sorry. No care. Just words. Still, I said nothing. I told myself, he is just tired. He needs time. But the same thing happened again and again. He came late. He did not call. He said, stop asking so much. I asked less. I stayed quiet. One day, I saw him near a cafe. I was walking home. He was with another woman. They were laughing. She touched his arm. I stopped walking. My heart felt heavy. My hands felt cold. He did not see me. Or maybe he saw me and did not care. I walked home fast. My legs hurt. I closed the door and sat on the floor. I did not cry. I just sat there. My mind was loud. I felt lost. That night I looked at my phone. I wanted to ask him, who is she? But I did not. The next day he called. He said, hey, how are you? I asked, who was the woman at the cafe? He said, you saw me? I said, yes. He laughed. You always think too much. She is just a friend. I asked, do you love me? He said, why do you always need words? I said nothing. I ended the call. I made tea and sat at the window. I looked at the sky. It was gray. I felt the same. That weekend, he did not call. I waited. I looked at my phone many times. It stayed silent. I remembered the first time he smiled at me. I remembered the soup, the scarf, the sweet words. Where did that man go? Did he ever really care? I looked in the mirror. I saw a woman with tired eyes. I saw someone who gave love, but got pain. I asked myself, why do you still wait? I did not want to wait anymore. The next day, I cleaned my room. I saw a small box under my bed. It had things he gave me. A pen. A bracelet. A small photo. I looked at them one by one. I did not cry. I closed the box and put it away. That evening, he sent a message. Want to meet this week? I looked at the screen. I did not answer. He sent another message. Are you free? I turned off my phone. I made dinner. I played soft music. I ate slowly. I breathed deep. I did not wait for his words. I did not need them. That night, I slept early. I did not cry. I did not dream. In the morning, I made tea. I smiled. A small smile, but real. He took my love for granted, but he would not take more. I gave him time. I gave him care. I gave him my heart. Now I gave myself peace. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. The next morning, I woke up early. I made tea. I opened the window. The air was cool. I sat down and closed my eyes. My phone was still off. It felt quiet. It felt good. For 3 days, I did not check my phone. I did not look at his name. I wanted to feel normal again. I wanted to remember who I was before him. I cleaned my room. I changed my bed sheets. I opened the windows. The house felt new. I played music. I made simple food. I ate on time. I drank more water. I did small things, but they helped. That week I walked to work. I looked at trees. I looked at people. I saw the world again. I felt tired but not sad. I was healing. One evening I turned my phone back on. I saw 6 messages from him. All short. One said, "Where are you?" Another said, "Why are you ignoring me?" The last one said, "Okay. Do what you want." I read them all. I felt nothing. Not anger. Not pain. Just silence inside me. I did not answer. 2 days later, he came to my door. I saw him from the window. I did not open it. He waited for 5 minutes. Then he left. I sat in the kitchen. I did not cry. I did not smile. I just stayed still. That night I talked to my friend from work. Her name was Sarah. I never told her much before, but now I wanted to talk. We met at a small cafe. She looked happy to see me. I sat down. She said, "Emma, you look tired." I smiled and said, "I feel okay now." Then I told her everything. I told her about the small things, the late messages, the silence, the cold replies, the cafe girl, the pain. She listened. She held my hand. She said, "You loved him, but he didn't love you the same way." I said, "I wanted him to care." She nodded. "You gave him your best. He gave you less. That's not love." I felt a small tear in my eye, but I also felt peace. It felt good to say the truth. She smiled. "You are stronger now." I smiled back. After that, I felt lighter. Some days were still hard. I would wake up and feel lonely. I would think of his voice. I would remember the first time he held my hand. I would remember the good days. But I told myself, that man is gone. Or maybe he was never real. I wrote down one line in my notebook. I was not too much. He just gave too little. I did not write more. I did not need to. One Sunday, I took the small box from under my bed. I walked to the park. There was a small bin near a tree. I opened the box. I looked at the pen, the bracelet, the photo. I took a deep breath. Then I dropped them into the bin. I closed the box. I walked away. I did not look back. At work, I started talking to people again. I helped new staff. I joined them for lunch. I smiled more. People noticed. They said, "You look better these days." One man at work was kind. His name was Ben. He worked in the next room. He always said hello. He held the door for me. He smiled with his eyes, not just his lips. One day he asked, "Would you like to join us for lunch?" I almost said no, but then I said, "Yes. Thank you." We sat at a table with two others. We talked about food and music. He liked soft songs. I liked quiet ones too. We laughed once. It felt warm. He did not ask for my number. He did not say sweet things. He just listened. After lunch, he said, "I'm glad you came." I said, "Me too." I did not think too much. I did not dream. I just felt good for 1 hour. That night, I did not think of Noah. I felt proud. 1 week later, Noah sent another message. It said, "I miss you. Can we talk?" I stared at it for a long time. My hand wanted to reply, but my heart said no. He missed me now. But where was he when I waited? When I cried? When I sat alone? He missed the girl who waited for his call. But that girl was gone. I deleted the message. I turned off my phone. I sat near the window and watched the stars. I said to myself, "You did the right thing." 2 days later, I saw Noah in town. He was alone. He looked at me. I looked back. He walked toward me. He said, "Emma, I didn't think I'd see you here." I said, "I live here. I walk here." He laughed a little. "You look different." I said, "I feel different." He looked down. "You didn't answer my messages." I said, "I know." He said, "You didn't want to talk?" I said, "I wanted to talk before. You didn't listen then." He said nothing. Then he said, "I'm sorry." I nodded. "I hope you find what you want." He said, "Can we try again?" I smiled. A small smile. "No, Noah. I already tried." I walked away. I didn't look back. I didn't cry. I felt free. When I reached home, I took off my shoes. I made tea. I sat in the quiet. I thought about my heart. It still had small scars, but it was healing. It was beating for me now. not for someone else. The next day at work, Ben smiled at me again. I smiled back. He asked, "Want to sit outside during lunch?" I said, "Yes, I'd like that." And that was enough. I was not looking for perfect love. I was not looking for big words or fast promises. I just wanted someone who saw me, heard me, and stayed kind. But before all that, I had to see myself first. I had to hear my own voice. I had to be kind to me. I chose peace. I chose respect. I chose me. And for the first time in a long time, that was enough. The days passed slowly, but they felt soft now. I was not in a hurry anymore. I no longer waited for his name to appear on my screen. I did not check my phone every 5 minutes. I no longer felt that cold worry in my chest. I woke up early. I made tea. I listened to the birds outside. I read the news. I went to work. I smiled at people. I said good morning. I felt like myself again. One Saturday morning, I went to the market. I bought apples, bread, and tea. As I walked home, I saw a woman with a baby. The baby laughed. The woman smiled. I looked at them and felt something warm inside. I was not sad. I was not jealous. I was just quiet and full of thought. I smiled too, but only for a moment. When I got home, I sat on my sofa and looked around. My flat was small but clean. It was peaceful. I used to feel lonely here, but not now. Now it felt like my own space. My home. My safe place. I made soup. I watched a movie. I sat with a blanket and closed my eyes. I felt tired, but calm. That night I thought about everything that happened. I thought about the first time I met Noah. I remembered that dinner party, the first smile, the way he asked me about my life. I remembered the first walk, the orange flower, the laughs, the hugs, the nights with tea and long talks. It was real in the beginning. I think it was. But then it became something else. He stopped trying. I kept giving. I gave too much. I forgot about myself. I looked at my hand. It was empty. No ring. No bracelet. Just my hand. And I thought, this is still enough. I am still here. I am still strong. The next week, Ben and I had lunch again. He asked me if I liked books. I said yes. He asked if I wanted to go to a book fair with him on Sunday. I said, that sounds nice. We met at the park entrance. It was sunny. He brought a bottle of water and a small paper bag with snacks. We walked slowly. We stopped at each table. He picked up a book and read a line. Then he smiled and handed it to me. I read the line and smiled too. We did not talk too much. We did not talk too little. It felt simple. No pressure. No rush. Just company. He did not ask me about my past. He did not tell me about his. He just stayed beside me. We walked through the fair. We sat on a bench and watched children run. He looked at the sky and said, "The weather is perfect today." I said, "Yes, it is." At the end of the day, he said, "Thank you for coming." I said, "Thank you for asking." He walked me home. At the door, he said, "Have a good night." I said, "You too." That was it. No big moment. Just a peaceful goodbye. But that peace was more than any gift. It stayed with me. That night, I slept with ease. I did not overthink. I did not wait for a message. I just felt quiet inside. And happy. The next few weeks passed in the same way. I focused on work. I helped my team. I joined a small English club on Saturdays. I walked more. I called my sister and spoke to her for the first time in months. She said, "You sound different." I said, "I feel better." One day, while cleaning the kitchen, I found an old photo in a drawer. It was a picture of me and Noah. We were laughing in the sun. My arm was around him. My face looked happy, but I saw something else too. My eyes looked unsure. I saw it now, but I didn't see it then. I looked at the photo for a while. Then I put it in the bin. I took it outside. I didn't keep it. I did not want to hold on to things that hurt me. I wanted to make space for good things. One evening, Sarah called. She said, "There is a small music night at the cafe. Do you want to come?" I said yes. I wore a soft blue top and simple shoes. I didn't try too hard. I just wanted to feel good. When I reached the cafe, Sarah was already there. She smiled and waved. I sat beside her. The music started. It was slow and soft. I closed my eyes and listened. Halfway through the music, I looked around. I saw many couples. Some held hands. Some sat close. I didn't feel left out. I felt calm. I felt free. Sarah leaned close and asked, "Do you still think about him?" I took a sip of water and said, "Not in the same way. I remember, but I don't feel pain now." She smiled. "I'm glad. You deserve better." I nodded. "I know." A few days later, I went for a walk by the lake. The wind was soft. The sky was light blue. I watched the ducks in the water. I sat on a bench and took a deep breath. I thought about the girl I used to be. The girl who waited for his call, who checked her phone 10 times an hour, who cried in the shower. I wanted to hug her and say, "It's okay. You're going to be fine." I stayed on the bench for a long time. I thought about the woman I was now. I was not perfect. I still had fears. I still had scars. But I was strong. I was soft and strong. That was enough. Later that evening, Ben sent a message. It said, "Would you like to join me for a walk this weekend?" I smiled. I typed, "Yes." That would be nice. I did not feel butterflies. I did not feel panic. I just felt calm. That calm was better than any fire. The walk with Ben was peaceful. We talked about travel. We talked about food. He said he liked simple things. I said, "Me too." At one point, we stopped and watched the sun. It was orange and low. He said, "This is the best part of the day." I said, "Yes, it feels safe." He looked at me and said, "I like spending time with you." I looked back and said, "Thank you. I like this too." He did not try to hold my hand. He did not rush. He just stayed beside me. That was enough. That night, I looked at the sky and thought, this is what care feels like. It's not big words. It's not loud promises. It's not a fast start. It's quiet attention. It's steady kindness. It's feeling safe to be yourself. I did not know where this would go, but I knew this time I would not lose myself. I would not love someone who made me feel small. I would not stay where I was not seen. I would not give more than I had. I would love gently. I would speak kindly. And I would always choose peace over pain. Noah took my love for granted, but I gave it to myself again. I picked up my own heart and held it safe. And now when I walk into the world, I walk whole.